The 1970s marked a pivotal era for the Star Trek franchise and its dedicated fan community. After the cancellation of the original series in 1969, the show's fervent admirers demonstrated a remarkable commitment to keeping the spirit of Star Trek alive. From grassroots campaigns to fan conventions, their unwavering enthusiasm paved the way for the eventual resurgence of the franchise in the late 1970s with the release of Star Trek the Motion Picture in 1979. This video will delve into the ways in which the franchise was sustained during this period, highlighting the dedicated efforts of fans and the gradual evolution of the Star Trek universe.
Initiate sequence. Retrotron Entertainment presents
That 70's Nerd. Fan activism. As the original series came to an untimely end in 1969, the disappointment of fans was palpable. However, rather than fading into obscurity, the Star Trek community took action. In 1969, Bjo and John Trimble initiated the famous Save Star Trek campaign, urging fans to write letters to NBC to demonstrate their support for the show. This effort garnered an unprecedented response of over 100,000 letters, showcasing the passionate fan base's determination to see Star Trek continue. Fan conventions. Fan conventions played a pivotal role in keeping the flame of Star Trek alive during the 1970s. The very first Star Trek convention, known as the 1972 New York Star Trek Con, attracted over 3,000 attendees. These gatherings provided fans with an opportunity to meet cast members, participate in panel discussions, and celebrate their shared love for the series. The conventions also allowed fans to connect with each other, forming a tight-knit community that sustained their enthusiasm throughout the decade. Fanzines! The 1970s saw the emergence of fanzines, or fan-created magazines, as a means of keeping the Star Trek fandom engaged. These self-published works allowed fans to express their creativity, share fan fiction, artwork, and analysis of the series. Fanzines became a vibrant medium through which fans could explore the Star Trek universe beyond the confines of television. They created a new kind of fan community and allowed Star Trek fans to explore the show's themes, characters, and storylines. Syndication. Syndicated reruns of the original Star Trek series in the early 1970s breathed new life into the franchise. The show found a fresh and enthusiastic audience and gained popularity among younger viewers who had missed its initial run. This resurgence of interest reaffirmed the enduring appeal of the series and demonstrated the potential for its continued exploration. Star Trek the Animated Series. The release of Star Trek the Animated Series, produced by Filmation in 1973, provided fans with new content and further expanded the Star Trek universe. The animated series introduced new characters who became fan favorites, such as the three-armed Arex, voiced by none other than James Scotty Doohan, and the feline Maurice, voiced by Majel Roddenberry. Many elements of the animated series were later worked into Star Trek canon. Although short-lived, the animated series continued the adventures of the original crew, offering fresh storylines and engaging visuals. Novels. Additionally, during this period, a series of Star Trek novelizations began to be published, written by Alan Dean Foster and James Blish. Contributing to the expansion of the franchise's lore, James Blish would also write the first original Star Trek novel, Spock Must Die. These novels became a foundation for Star Trek canon and are still referenced today. Conclusion. The 1970s were a transformative period for Star Trek fandom, characterized by steadfast dedication of fans who refused to let the franchise fade into obscurity. Through fan activism, conventions, fanzines, syndication, and new creative endeavors, the Star Trek community ensured that the spirit of the series remained vibrant and relevant. These collective efforts paved the way for the eventual release of Star Trek the Motion Picture in 1979, which marked the triumphant return of the franchise to the big screen and spawned 5 theatrical sequels. The resilience and passion of Star Trek fans during this decade stands as a sterling example of the high-profile popularity of science fiction in the 1970s, and beautifully illustrates the remarkable bond between genre creators and fandom. That's all for now.
Be groovy, like, comment, share, subscribe.